Have you ever had a crazy idea, but you just couldn't pull it off because of work or other commitments? Yeah, we did, but we pulled it off. A few weeks ago, we left Hawaii for the last time. I know, cue the sad music. Yeah, I didn't want to leave. But on to the next adventure of our life. We're homeless now. We're gonna live a nomadic lifestyle for the next year, and we'll see how that goes. Right now, we're in Washington State in the town or the city of Kirkland, which is pretty cool. Our original plan was to fly to California and spend a couple weeks there with family, but then something happened. What happened? This happened. There's Treasure Inside by John Collins Black. If you haven't heard about it, it's pretty crazy. It's about this guy that hid 5 treasure boxes throughout the United States, and we thought it'd be fun. And I guess I should tell you more about the treasure chest. So there's one big one, and majority of the book, at the first, like that much of the book, is dedicated to clues for this big chest. And then this last section is the 4 smaller chests. The ones we're looking at is I'm working on the past and the future, and my wife is working on the Appalachian Trail. If you remember, there was a gentleman by the name of Forrest Fenn who about, I don't know how long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, his treasure was found. We actually started doing that, but we had a business we were running, and my wife was still working full time. So we thought we had a few good solves for his puzzle or his poem, and we were going to head out that next spring to Wyoming and see if we could find this treasure box in Yellowstone. Yeah, it was announced right before we were getting ready to leave that it was found. And the rumor has it the dude found it like a year before, 18 months before or something like that, and just held on to it. So it would have been a worthless trip anyway, but it would have been fun. But I'm getting way off topic here. We got this book like right around Thanksgiving, and we were working on one puzzle, and my wife decided, I want to work on this other one. So we're working on 2 different smaller treasure chests. And we both thought we had pretty good solves. We were much more confident in hers. So we got to California the very next day. We flew to the East Coast. We were heading to the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, there's a treasure box hidden somewhere along the Appalachian Trail, which covers like almost 2,200 miles in 14 states. But we thought we had it narrowed down to a pretty specific location. So we booked our flights and we're off to the East Coast. And this whole adventure, it was a lot of fun, but it would have been impossible if we were still working. I mean, we might have been able to schedule something out in the future, but this was so spur of the moment and so okay, truth be told, my wife was so confident in her solve that she's like, I don't want anybody else to find it before us. I'm gonna have regrets. I'm gonna have more regret if we don't go and somebody finds it than if we go and we don't find it. So we went. Did we find this treasure? Well, here's a video from the end of our day 1 search. Well, that's the end of our boots on the ground for day 1. We found something really interesting that we're going to pursue tomorrow. That it lines up much better than we actually thought. So
and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known unless we were actually here and we're following our trail. And no, I'm still not going to give any indication of where we're at, because you might come and steal my treasure. Yeah, but yep. So we're heading back to the car, and then we're going to head down the hill. We've got about an hour drive to our hotel, and be back tomorrow. At the end of day 2, I was a little frustrated. The whole walk back to our car, I was thinking, oh, I need to record, I need to record. It wouldn't have been good. I could have recorded, but you would have had the frustrated, pissed off Randy. That's never good. So, it was just more just frustration, because we probably spent 4 or 5 hours just doing nothing but just searching. And we did have a couple more things we wanted to do. We had one more day there, so we were going to go back the next day. Thunderstorms. Huge thunderstorms on the mountain. We were in our search area, so we couldn't do it. And we already had our flights booked, heading back. I'll give you part of our solve. I know I said in the video that I don't want you to find it, but we're not going to get back to that side of the country until the end of this year, this is January 2025 right now. So we'll get back there in December. Actually, November, I think, is when we're going to be on the East Coast again. If it's not found and we feel like our solve is still pretty solid, we'll head back. But let me get into it. I'll tell you about our solve. So for this Appalachian Trail, here's our solve. 90% of people are heading to Vermont. And why Vermont? Because of this map. The map that he's got drawn out, they exactly matched it to a portion of the trail in Vermont, near, I believe it's called Little Rock Pond. Yeah, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. In doing the research for our Appalachian Trail hike, we looked at several different maps. And when you get down to like the intricacies of the trail itself, you know, the twists and turns, the switchbacks and all that kind of stuff, we couldn't find two maps that matched each other. And then when we got there, we found that those maps didn't match the trail, either one of them. So how are you going to match a real trail to a trail on a map and say, oh, that's where the treasure is? So an example is, here's two maps of the same section of one portion of the trail that we were on. This is one, this is the other one. And then here's what the trail really looked like. It was switched back not quite 180 degrees, but it felt like it was much closer to 180 degree. I mean, it was like a strong switchback. So, no. You know, these same people, there's a lot of different things on the map that are supposed to give you clues, and they said they matched them up to Vermont. Yeah, I matched them up to about 5 different states of the 14. How did we narrow our search down? Just deductive reasoning. Yeah, I'm still not going to say what state we're in. Yeah, I mean, you could look at if you could figure it out from the pictures or the video I have on the trail, then good for you. But yeah, I still don't want to share that, just in case if it's not found in a year and we're back there, yeah, we're going back to the same spot. So majority of these people, they're basically doing an armchair solve of this puzzle or this map, and you got to get out there. And I'll tell you why. On this section of the video that I just showed you, see those logs there on the left? And the other side of those logs, there's a trail, and it heads in the opposite direction of the Appalachian Trail. And this small trail is nowhere on the map. The map shows you the Appalachian Trail going up, making a sharp turn to the right. But if you look at the map, the treasure map, see that little arrow? It's telling you right after the bare rocks, which that's a whole nother story. And this could be a really long video if I want it to be. Okay, let's talk about bare rocks. So in the book, he talks about he was inspired by his kid who drew a treasure map. So I'm thinking he probably did this from a kid's point of view. I'm just guessing. I mean, I haven't found the treasure, so who knows? But when you're actually on the trail, if a kid is drawing a trail, they're not going to draw an exact match to some trail that's online. They're going to draw what they see, and that's what I believe he did. is he drew more what he saw when he was actually on the trail. So, and that's how we came upon our spot, is we had that more of that mindset of how it would have looked on the ground. Because before we left, we had a totally other area that we were going to search. But once we got there, we saw that and that turn and that little arrow on the map. And yeah, it was just eye-opening. It was like an epiphany, like somebody just telling us, yeah, you go that way. It was crazy. It was like, you wouldn't believe the excitement we both felt when you saw on the video. We found that right at the end of day one is when we came across that. But anyway, I got way off again. So back to the bare rocks. Bare rocks, our interpretation of bare rocks is rocks with nothing on them, that are bare, B-A-R-E, bare rocks. And there's a little short trail of bare rocks that cross the stream. And on the map, what would a kid draw if you told him bare rocks? A bear and rocks? Made sense to us. So anyway, on the map, right after we cross the rocks, that's when we hit this trail that heads up to this spot where we're going to make the left turn instead of the right turn. And the arrow on the map showed us the same thing. So it was a really exciting moment. Was it worth it? Was it worth the price of the flights, the hotel, the rental car? Absolutely. We had a blast. We had so much fun. I mean, just the excitement of, we're going to go find a treasure was exciting. And then, we've never been on the Appalachian Trail before, either one of us. So, we get on the Appalachian Trail. The first thing we said was, we're hiking the Appalachian Trail. How many people, even 3 miles of it, how many people get to do that? Especially if you lived on the West Coast in Hawaii your entire life. Well, I never had been. So to tie all this back to early retirement, and I think I've mentioned it in previous videos, it's all about freedom. It's the freedom to, if you want to work. If you want to work part-time, work part-time. If you want to volunteer, volunteer. If you want to be a couch potato, no one's there to stop you. It's all about freedom to do whatever you want in retirement. Of course, you have to have the finances to be able to retire and these spur-of-the-moment things. We probably shouldn't have done that, but it was worth it. It was totally worth the fun. I wouldn't call it a financial mistake, but if you want to see a real financial mistake, check out this video here. Or if you want to see what YouTube thinks would be best for you to watch, you can check out this one here. Thanks for watching.